Hello? 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 Oh! Jesus, Mary and Joseph, what are you doing here? Oh, well, come in. God. My God, you scared the shite out of me. What are you doing here? Well, I hate to be a bad host, my love, but this is my home, not the office. How did you find me here? Oh, no, my cards did have my address for a while. Yeah, that's fair. That's on me. Okay, fair enough. But there's 3 in the morning. Are you okay? Do you need help? Oh. Well, that's fair, but my dear, your appointment was 2 months ago. A little bit over, I think, actually. Not that it even matters because the program was disbanded. Yeah, we got sued like a lot. Well, my case was the prime one because, frankly, they were having Father Time come in and reroute some of those timelines so that I could take on more clients because I'd failed my resolutions the years before. And really, it's a miracle you didn't get pulled into the program with me, but no, it's okay. I'm feeling a little bit better about it. Frankly, it was very, very, very disconcerting to be, going to make a cup of tea and running into yourself making a cup of tea at the same time. Some things I can't really unsay for a while. But the good news is, you're free. Yeah, you don't have to do any of that anymore. Yeah, no resolutions to keep up with, no vision boards, nothing like that. Honestly, you should be all set. Well, yeah, I know your appointment was before the Sue Edge, but no, you should be fine. They can't legally take any more action against you, and I mean, I would recommend maybe changing your address and your phone number and your email and your name, but you should be all right. I'm not really worried about it, to be completely honest with you. What are you talking about, dear? You should be feeling a lot lighter. You don't have to hold yourself to that standard anymore. Well, to be quite frank, it's kind of a antiquated idea, don't you think? Oh, I can't really do tears. I think we've talked about that before. Yeah, not good with tears. Just because if you start crying, I'll start crying. So why don't you know what? Why don't you sit down and I'll make you a cup of tea? How about that? It's we'll just call it an early breakfast tea. Okay. Sit down. Give me 1 second. I'll go make you tea. Okay, hang on. Okay, dear. Well, I've got a little cup of tea for you. Yes. Yeah, we have matching mugs. Here you go. Take that for me. It's quite hot, so take a second. Perfect. Okay, yes. And then I've got my cup of tea here. See? Say mug. Yeah, Father Time taught me how to do that. Now, frankly, if I'm being quite honest, I have quite a hard time remembering some details about a lot of people's situations. No, not because I don't adore you in a sort of, doctoral bedside manner. You make me giggle, you're my favourite patient kind of thing. But, I did see 2 or 3 people at the same exact time that I was seeing you, and then that every hour for every day for like 2 years. So some of the details of your situation were a little bit fuzzy, but I remember you're having quite a hard time the last time we spoke, no? Yeah, you had a terrible year and you'd had that boyfriend or something, and you'd had a, I don't know, a robbery or 2 or 3 or 4 or something like that. Yeah, I'm right. But as much as I can't remember every possible outcome and thought and thing that you told me, I don't really see why you would want to stick to a program like that, my dear. No. No. It works for some people. I think it's important to have goals, period. Not a new year, new feng shui or whatever you want to do. It's just important to have goals. But I'm sure I've said this to you before. Goals are... Take a sip of your tea. Yes, take another. Okay. Goals are not always meant to be achieved. That's just the short of it, love. Goals are something that you work towards. And if you don't make it in the time that you want to do, it doesn't matter, because the point was how much you pushed yourself to get there. And New Year's resolutions are, I feel, not the same as having a goal. Your bastardized, Western, antiquated, problematic idea of those is something that typically has some kind of time structure on it, or expectation with it, right? That, you know, I'm going to go to the gym 4 times a week for the entirety of the year. Now that's assuming that you're going to be in good health all year round. That's assuming that you have enough money to be able to afford a gym membership. That's assuming that nothing's going to happen to your car to get there. That's assuming that you're going to like working out. That's assuming that your body's going to handle it well. You cannot look at life as something that gets in the way of your resolutions. Life isn't the problem. Life is the thing. Life is the thing that you're doing. The resolution is just something you put to paper and then get kind of bummed about a couple months later. Because if you decided that you wanted to write a book this year, and you know, you're doing alright, you're making a little bit more effort to write, and then 2 months in, you change your mind, or a close person in your life passes and you have to deal with that, or you get sick, or you lose your job. You cannot say, well, I didn't do a good job because I failed my resolution. No, you're just living life. And frankly, you set a goal and you work towards that goal, and that's the thing you have to be proud of. So I'm done with resolutions. No, I'm done. I've spent hundreds upon thousands of hours talking to people just like you, building their plans for them, helping them, trying to swerve their mindset a little bit so they're a bit more positive about themselves and their bodies and their minds and their spirits. But I am doggone tired. I'm tired of it. I think that life is too sweet and too short for you to, in your prime of your life, to be mad at yourself for being 15, 10, 20, 100, 30,000 pounds over what you think you should be. I'm tired of it. I don't care. I do not care. Well, the vision boarding was fine. It was was. I will say I did not mind that. However, that was a lot of glue. And I'm still scrubbing glue out of places. Well, you could do what I did. I don't know. Get a life. I'm just messing with you. I'm sorry. No, I just meant you are made for more than the limitations that your mind and imagination have. You're made for more than that. I feel like I'm maybe a bit hard on you about it because I've had a renewed spirit. Oh yeah. Well, let's see. You remember Bertha, the cow? Well, I just fell in love with her. I loved her. And my whole family before me were cow farmers, and I'd really forgotten that because I'd been stuck in the program for so long. And then one day, it was the day after, we'd all been told that we no longer had to work for the company and that within a couple months we were going to get a big check. I thought, well, shite, I got a new chance at anything that I want to do. And that scared the bejesus out of me. I probably sat in that desk chair for hours thinking of all the things that I ever wanted to do and not being able to decide, and thinking, well, I might as well not even make a decision if I can't do everything that I want to do. But then I said, I'm just going to clear my head, take a walk, and I just kept thinking about Bertha. So I finally took a walk out to see her, and lo and behold, I met Bertha's owner. Oh, no, he's quite handsome. And I said, is this yours? Is she yours? And he goes, oh yes, of course. Do you know her? And I said, yes. And he said, well, I'm quite jealous. And I said, are you? And he said, well, I'd give just about anything to go on a date with you. And I said, well, how about Bertha? And he thought about it for a while. And he looked at her and he looked at me and he said, yeah, I'd give a cow to go on a date with you. And now I'm a cow farmer. Yes. And I've never been happier. I love it. It's good for me. It's not an office. It's not, trying to rewire people's brains, which is just something that I'm really not equipped to do. And, I quite like what I do now. Now, that is not what I'm saying. I am not saying that a man has to come in and sweep you off your feet and change your whole life. I'm simply saying that life happens and you cannot deprive yourself of life happening. Okay? I can see that there's still a problem. I can see that you're still struggling with this idea. So, I will give you one gift that has tremendously helped me, especially as a recovering New Year's resolutionist. Okay, hang on. Drink your tea, it's getting cold. Thank you. Okay. Let's see, I'm just gonna get these bad boys on. Oh. Let me get a look at you. Gosh. Yeah, are you alright? Darling, it's only been 1 month into 2026. Yeah, you need a massage. For sure. No. Deep Swedish, deep tissue. Either or. Hour and a half. Yeah. Find a masseuse. You need one. I'm really worried now. Now that I can see you. Yeah. Okay. I am going to explain to you a little something I like to call the big list. I want a little more pizzazz, please. The big list. Yes, exactly. The big list is a list that you write and you don't really have to come back to. Just kind of exists. Something you might feel the need to check in on occasionally, but not required. It is a list of everything you have ever dreamed of doing. The biggest you could possibly dream? Go into the Olympics, skydiving off Mount Vesuvius, I don't know. Right, just the biggest, most drastic choices you could possibly imagine yourself making. And you're going to write them down, and then you're not going to touch them again. That's how that works. I'll do it with you. How about that? Let's do this together for old time's sake. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I think I remember you were very keen on writing a book, right? Okay. Let's see. What's the biggest thing you can think right now off the top of your head that would be like a dream come true? Getting published. Obviously. Okay. Any bigger? Right. Getting published by Random House. Great. Okay. Is there any further you can go with that? Like, have you ever thought about, I don't know how many copies you want to sell, or if it turns into a movie, or who's in your movie, or anything like that? Okay. Perfect. Okay. Mouse. Okay. Perfect. Okay. What else? Ooh, it's been a minute since I looked at your file, I'm sorry. Touchy subject, love life. Okay, still no partner. That's fine. Hey, that's awesome. Really? I know you don't want to hear it from me, or anybody else for that fact, but that shit rocks. It really does. Okay. Having a partner. Any qualities about the person, or maybe where y'all live, or how many kids you want to have, if you want to have any kids or pets or something like that, or something y'all do together. A goat farm. It sounds like my dream to own a goat farm with your partner. Okay. Anything about the partner in particular that you want to put that you think would be like outrageous? Happily married for 50 years. Perfect. Okay. I can do that. Okay. Perfect. Okay. One more thing. What about something you've always dreamed of? Never thought you'd actually be able to do. Never thought you'd have enough money to do. Something that you don't think you'd have a lot of time to do. Really never think you'd ever be able to do in this lifetime. But have dreamed about doing it. Mine's a coffee shop. I've always loved the idea of having a little tiny hole in the wall coffee shop and open it in the morning and close it and then come in and raise my cows at home. I've always thought about for it to be, how do I phrase this to you? The point of the big list is not necessarily for it to be a guilt or a shame when and if that thing is unattainable. The point is to remind yourself that so many things that you've deemed yourself unworthy for are actually quite reasonable things. And I think as you add more to this list throughout your life, you're going to see how special it is to have something that slowly curves you in the areas that you want to go. Even if it's just a way to maybe compile all the ideas you have and use them for something else. Maybe you put all those ideas in a book. I don't know. Maybe you never write a book ever. And doing something like this helps you realize, oh, I really want to quotes. Who knows? The important thing is that you are not getting in the way of your life. Your inability to not take days off, work really hard, push yourself past your limits, all the bull like that doesn't mean that you are unworthy of having a wonderful life. Okay. Well, I'm actually just gonna give this to you. Yeah, you can take that journal. I need to go to sleep, and I'm very disconcerted that you know where I live now and have seen my home. And I think Boris might be missing me now. So, Boris, my husband. Yes, Boris and Bertha and Ernie. It's my dream.